What a round. Hello, everyone. Some of us had filthy weekends on the punt, but who cares because the footy was so damn good. Well, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it was the greatest round ever. Sunday was a bit off, but well done to the Sharks. And wow, Melbourne Storm, still the class of the competition, aren't they, even though they're not top spot on the ladder. Joel Caine, lovely to have you. I was awful this weekend with the bets, but what about you?
That wasn't great either, Dan. Missed by one on so many bets that I put on, and I couldn't believe it. Particularly that last game, or one of the last games, where the Storm piled on 64 points. Pappenhausen on the tick sheet, yeah. Same game multi.
Yes.
You think Coates could get one?
Oh, what about that? Neither winger scored.
Yeah.
Neither winger scored.
Suafai Longo as well. It didn't get near.
How does that happen?
Yeah. Just quietly, there would be how many same game multis all over Australia? Needed at least one of those blokes for the full collect.
Look at the chest barrel. He's got it puffed out. He had a good appearance on NRL 360.
Very good.
Looked comfortable in the Joel Caine jacket, I noticed. Right, very good effort. He's got a very happy time coming up, touch wood, in his personal life. And also, I believe it's time to ask, is the rut that was bordering on a slump, is it over?
Well, no, it was never a rut and it was never a slump. But yes, there was a couple of presents under the tree in the feed profile, Dan. From today, took a while to get bat on ball for the weekend, but boy, Melbourne Storm was scary good today.
So I'm seeing here Storm 19 plus with Pappy to score 2 or more. That would have been wrapped up 20 minutes in. They're the goal, aren't they beautiful, those bets? Doesn't he have a habit, Joel, of scoring in just bunches? I brought up today on radio, he scored 4 and 11 one night. He scored a hat-trick in 17 minutes, and his mates Hughes and Munster, I noticed a couple of times, ignored him, and he could have had 5, 6 or 7.
He's officially, Brandy's onto it, the best support player, and he might have even used the word anticipate. I think there might be the A word just creeping in to the vernacular if it wasn't already there.
All right.
Almost the greatest of all time. Like Terry Lamb was a gun. Well, someone's allowed to be.
He's in the convo.
How's he not?
He's everywhere.
You know what? Okay,
he's Terry Lamb, the greatest backup man of all time, 160-something tries, most of them backing up.
Yes.
Perhaps also creating a lot of tries himself.
Pappenhausen, when starting at fullback, scores at about 85%. That is a huge number.
Incredible.
Huge number.
But look at the first try. That wasn't backing up. That was just brilliant play.
Yeah, he's got a bit of both.
You can't accredit all his tries to backing up.
No, but when I say it's not just backing up, it's anticipation. So he will leave his post before everyone else.
Yep.
He leaves before everyone else. He's a gun. He's a gun.
All right, and if you don't believe us about Sean, this is what he said.
In a round that is bereft of real obvious standouts for me, I'll go with upside and upside alone. The Melbourne Storm -14.5. Sunday afternoon, tick. Amy Park, tick. Sunny day, tick. Pappenhausen airborne, tick. I'm going that man, Pappy, 2 or more tries. Melbourne Storm 19 plus.
All right. Well played.
It's about as easy as it
Well
gets. Imagine
played.
if they were all that easy. It wouldn't be fun, would it, if they were all that easy, Dan?
Sean, you got one right. Congratulations. But I think in all honesty, when we're punting, there's 2 Melbourne Storms. There's daytime Melbourne Storm and there's nighttime Melbourne Storm. Nighttime Melbourne Storm's still pretty good, but they're a little susceptible.
Yep.
Daytime Melbourne Storm, you want no business mucking around with that.
As I said, it's all about upside. Like no one could sit there and make them 20-point favourites to really steam into it, but there was just so much running their way. Heavy loss, daytime, Pap just flying.
Now, some personal business, and indulge us for about 60 seconds here. Firstly, Joel, let me turn the blowtorch onto you. It was pressed upon me. We recorded the show early this week, midweek show, and that's fine. You wouldn't have noticed any difference. Perfectly fine, because you had to go up to Byron Bay with the lovely. Then I was reminded you did the same thing last year, and under the same guise, need to spend some time with the missus. And I was reminded, but hang on, didn't you host a conference for Mark Boris that same weekend? Did you make an earn this week out of your Byron Bay trip?
I happened to run into the great Mark Boris up there, yes.
Just my objective there, wasn't he?
I did see Mark.
What
Good to see you, Mark.
odds?
I just went up there trying to do the rugby league thing. He's on the board of the Roosters. I was trying to find out who could that player be.
Did you make it? That's all I need to know. And you're perfectly entitled to. But did you make an earn out of the weekend?
I haven't checked the bank yet, Dan. Dan. I'll have to
Okay.
come back to you on
Will
that.
you invoice for activities
I'm
that
not quite
happen?
sure, Dan. I don't know.
That's a yes.
I
And
don't
now
quite
this
know.
bloke, Sean Ormerod,
my turn.
about to become a dad for the first time. And it's an exciting time. And we were told that if, touch wood with Ness, all goes well, it'll be this week. In fact, Thursday is going to be the day, because obviously in the modern day you can plan a little better for these things. But he's not working this Wednesday coming up when we're recording some stuff, and Matt Rogers is going to be our special guest, which is great. We love having Matt, and he's actually pretty good on the punt, we've noticed as well, when he's done shows with us. But why aren't you working with us on Wednesday when Thursday is the day of?
It was an administrative clerical error. We were booked in for Thursday, but now it's somehow been brought forward to Wednesday. So this is officially my the last dance. Only for a couple of weeks. I'll be back.
This is
I'll tell you what an
suspicious.
upgrade the viewers are getting though. This nuffy to
Don't do the
Matt
false.
Rogers.
Don't do the false modesty.
It's not false.
Something smells. They
He's
don't make clerical errors.
It was a clerical
on the
error.
induced birth of a child. Now you have milked time off before.
Yeah.
There was the time, I think, during COVID, he wouldn't get the internet in his house. Remember that at Erskineville in Sydney? How long are you preparing to milk out of us here as part of, quote-unquote, paternity leave?
Well, I'm bound by certain rules and regulations of paternity leave. So just the 2 weeks, then I'll be back. Hopefully I can watch a bit of footy while I'm off as well.
Very good. All right, 2 weeks. Mark it down, Joel.
Now,
2 weeks.
Now, I got some feedback about 360, and I understand it was very good, right, which is great. But there was comments to say that he's the best groomed person since Talon De Silva. They reckon that you go to the same place as Talon De Silva.
He's got nice eyebrows, Talon.
Oh,
Very nice eyebrows.
Okay, all right, very good. Now we have indulged for long enough. Let's get to the good stuff here, and what a weekend it was. 5 big comeback wins. Sean, officially,
Yes.
of the 5, which was the most unlikely?
So I went through trawled through the book and got the biggest price where we actually struck about the Bulldogs 50 to 1.
Oh,
They were Saturday afternoon.
Wow.
Hard to argue because the Raiders were absolutely steamrolling them. Doggies couldn't get their hands on the footy. We know how it finished. Next best, Titans, who were 22-0 down or something like that. They got to $29. Knights didn't score a point in the second half. You've got a nice little number around these comebacks as well, Sean.
I do.
And the Bunnies, $14 in the run as well, went 14-0 down.
Yeah.
That surprised me. I
thought they'd be bigger.
Yeah, same. Because
or at least be closer to the other 2. And I would have thought the Titans
would have been bigger than this one.
Bigger than the Dogs, because the Dogs do have the ability to pile on points. Anyway, if anyone had it, congratulations.
So, Dan, Dragons, South, Titans and Dogs, those 4 teams who were all trailing at half-time. Their second half ledger versus the leading teams who they opposed, 82 points to 1.
Wow.
The Warriors field goal.
The Metcalf field goal was the only point those leaders scored as a collective. What price, seriously, could you get about that?
Unreal. Oh, here it is.
This
Dan.
guy here, holy
Now, do
moly.
you think, Joel, you've been in many a dressing room, do you think Steve Crichton said to the halves, fellas, for goodness sake, give me the ball early and just let me go? Do you reckon? Because too often Canterbury have gone left side and naturally gone for kick out. But Crichton often, there are games he doesn't see enough of it.
Yeah.
Do you think that's happened?
Yeah, you know what worried me in this game, and you can get some clues. I tipped Canberra and I was bullish until I heard the terms, these guys have got to stop worrying about their own press and we've got a short turnaround. Or, you know, when Seabold said, come out publicly, we've played 5 games in 25 days, it gives your team an out.
Just a bit of negativity.
When they hear that, they go, okay, we've got an out here. The coach is going to be very careful what they say, I think, in the media.
Cowboys and Panthers play out a 30-all draw. This is, the 5th one to go to Golden Point this year. And you can bet on draws, can't you? 80-minute draws?
Yes,
Can you bet on 90-minute draw? I mean, you'd be really pushing it to get a 90-minute draw. But on the margin betting, isn't it? You can bet the draw.
Just on this, at this level of rugby league, Drinkwater's clearly the Cowboys' first choice field goal kicker. And I know it's very messy. It's fair to say that probably both teams were a fair way offside in all these scenarios where they were shanking them, but he dead set shanked a couple there. They have to be better at this level, don't they?
But aren't they the best in the comp, Penrith, at scenario-based things? Yeah. Like, they looked like they were just flooded. They probably were offside, but geez, they they made it hard. They never looked like scoring that field goal, did they?
No.
Never.
No.
Did anyone, obviously, because I was driving home from Canberra, so I missed most of that game, did anyone did they keep their challenges? Because this is your idea, keep your challenge, so when you get to that scenario, not even golden point, when you're kicking a field goal, you miss it, it
resets, doesn't it?
No,
the challenge, not the replacements. No, challenges don't reset.
I thought it reset in golden point.
I believe so.
I thought it went.
No, Joe, you get 2 extra replacements. I don't think you get an extra challenge. Now I'll have to check. By the way, Tom Starling was not held. People say, he was held. No, he was up. It's when a hand is on. Anyway, I read the rule book today. There's 4 different points, and on all 4 points, Starling tick, 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 tick.
Just very quickly now, it's always been a possession game, rugby league, but it feels like now more than ever, and probably to an extent a little bit of last year as well, where possession is just absolute king. I'm struggling to find what has sort of structurally changed in the game because the 6 agains have been here for a while now. But it just feels now teams are getting this flood. We saw Canberra perfect. 70% of the ball they had in the first half.
Yeah.
Doggies couldn't get near it. That's probably why they're tipping a lot of people steamed into the 50-1 because all they need to do is get the footy and you could actually do some damage. But if anyone's got any answers out there, let me know.
I don't have any answers for that. Obviously, set restarts, as you say, is a factor. But what about the run meters, right? So run meters, I think, is a better indicator than completions because it also shows not only have you had the ball, what have you done with it, right? Yeah. So the Newcastle Knights around half-time had 1,100 run meters, which 1,800 wins you most games. They had 1,100. They finished with about 1,650.
Wow.
They just stopped.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I actually felt calling that game that their best chance of actually winning the game, as strange as it sounds, was to actually lose the lead earlier. Because they were watching the clock for 50 minutes. They stopped playing.
Yeah.
Then Warriors moved to second, points differential of +1. Dragons lose their 3rd game I didn't realise this. Their 3rd game by a point.
Yeah.
Oh, and this time the heartbreak of scoring an extra try on the Warriors. That's the
2nd game they've done it this year. They've outscored their opponents with tries and they've walked away with nothing.
Broncos in trouble. Let's not kid ourselves, but let's talk about the positive. Latrell Mitchell's 2-point field goal. Now, I had that moment, Joel, and you know this as a caller. You're sort of trying to...
It's a 3-point field goal.
You're trying to recall the great ones to compare it to, and I knew as soon as I opened that door, people were going to come barging through with even better ones, and they were right. I talked about Pat Richards and...
Benji had a good one, didn't he?
Yeah, Benji. My favourite, I think, is Braith because it was on the run, but it wasn't from that far out. Andrew Willis was one that was brought up. That's probably the most comparable, Andrew Willis for Western Suburbs on a Monday night. Where do you sit on it?
That's right up there.
That's straight to the top of 2-pointers. I know it's a new, it's a
Nathan
new thing.
Cleary on the run against Parramatta. They probably all did this on the Maddie show an hour ago, by the way.
Chris Sando
had a good one.
Once.
So anyway,
that is ice. That is.
Oh,
mate, he the best 2 things he did in that game: 2 massive try savers.
Yeah.
2 massive try savers.
I thought you were going to say the try at the end, which we will get to. But first, let's do this.
Well, he's made the kick. Important to some.
Important to some, Dan. Now, this bloke probably gets the award for just having the best feed profile name. We're going to see his bet here, but it's Punter S. Thompson, which I know you like. You're a bit of a movie buff.
Hunter.
You'll enjoy that. So, only the 13 followers. He might get a bit of an uptick in followers after this.
Well, you know what, Sean? Before you even start,
yes.
I've done my month with Multi-Man and did nothing, so this might be my switch.
It's a bad breakup. All right, well, this bloke, 350-1. Only 2 punters are on it, so you've got to do better than that, everyone out there on the feed. Okay, so we had Sharp anytime, okay. Kick out anytime rather, okay. Metcalf, yep. But these 2. Now, this is where the important to some action really comes to the fore. It's the one you just mentioned, Latrell Mitchell's spirit of the game try. This is important to some, important to punter S. Thompson, because he needed him. He takes a knee there. Now, are we okay? I want you to have your say about this. It was important to punter S. Are you okay with it?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Until we stop playing for and against, I'm perfectly okay with it. I thought it was a perfect encapsulation of how people perceive Mitchell. And from a big picture. If anyone else does it, play to the whistle. But because, and I'm not a Latrell sympathiser, I think he's done some thuggish things on the field, and I think he's done some silly things on the field and off the field. I think he's done some silly things. I'm not a sympathiser, but then he does that, and the Latrell haters say that's why we hate him.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Joel. To me, why isn't a Bronco trying to rip the ball out of his hand? It's 16-14. You don't like it, do you?
What gave that away? Look at his face.
I don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
First of all,
it's not an
spur
NFL.
of the moment, right? He's just been there for half a second and then been opportunistic and takes it. But straight after that or the next day, Burton at the end of the game does the same thing.
I didn't know we'd become NFL and we took knees.
No. Well, Burton does the same thing, and Canberra just sort of
touch him,
and it's a gentleman's agreement, right? Yeah. So I don't know.
Anyway, important to some. He needed one more. He needed a Blaze Talangi try, and this is how it happened. Poor old Robert Derby, who it felt like this is about his 12th error of the game, the poor bloke. It was a bit of a nothing grubber. Derby's got it covered. He tries to scramble. He almost gets out of the in goal. Then he drops it, and Blaze Talangi actually tried to... The ball was already on the ground, and Blaze tried to pick it up and put it down again. All he had to do was whack a hand on it, like the Broncos players should have done with Latrell. There is two very, very important.
Wow.
And congrats to Punter S. Thompson.
Yeah, well done, Punter S. Thompson. And he wasn't going to get the tries. They were both best on ground, Latrell and Blaze, and wasn't going to get it. But the real important to some, Dan.
Yes.
Now, admittedly, we've agreed with this, us three. Maybe the to-be mother has not, Vanessa. But anyway, we're going to march on. We agreed that prior to the birth, which appears to be on Wednesday, the last try scorer would be an Ormerod, his firstborn son. So it looked as though it was going to be Ronaldo Ormerod. It was going to be Braden Ormerod. It was going to be Tolatau Ormerod. But it's officially, folks,
Idle.
KL.
Hang on, is it KL or is it Idle?
It's KL. KL.
Yeah, KL.
The initials KL.
So we can come up, that's a great one because you can come up with your own K and your own L.
Yeah.
KL.
Oh, I like that.
Kyle Lewis.
Yeah.
I like that.
And there you go.
Short Ormerod.
And they've got my name wrong for good measure. How good's that?
Ormerod. And don't fix it. Don't fix it. Fast money time. Right, 10 rounds in. Who should be the favourites, or should the Eels be the favourites to win the spoon?
No, I don't think so. I think Mitchell Moses, it's very hard to win a spoon with a premier halfback. And many will say, well, he was there last year, well, almost done it. Titans for me, Dan. Titans for me, Shawnee.
Still the Titans?
Yeah.
Famous victory.
Oh, no,
Sugar
but
it
could have easily gone to 50. Could have easily gone the other way.
The vision of Des after the win, you've just won the game, Des, and it looked like someone just tore his house down on Christmas Day. Didn't know what to do.
No, I know.
Poor old Desi.
No, I think the Titans are the box seeders still.
Yeah. Well done. We can move on. Let's go to question number 2. And we're quick here. Remember we started with minute fast money and now it's got to 30 seconds and even that's too long. Jackson, now Purdue, we have to find out the pronunciation of his name because now I heard Purdue. So Jackson Purdue, whoever he is, the star centre. How long is he in the centres for?
She's very Purdue. We're going with Purdue for the sake of this. Now, I may have just crowbarred this question myself because I wanted to answer it. Yeah. He must be in the halves for the Cowboys straight away. Yeah. It needs to be, for them to go on any sort of run. Now, they might be a little bit low on outside backs. They might be forced to play him there for a bit longer. But Tommy Dearden, 7. Jackson Purdue, 6. Well, he is an out-and-out gun.
The time is Origin, because Dearden will now be part of Origin for sure now that Hunt is injured, and that's where you put him in, lead him into it. Hopefully, for his perspective, he stars.
Dan, can I ask you this? So the Dogs into $2.30 to win the minor premiership ahead of the Storm at $2.40. Is that too short? Are they the front runner to win the minor premiership? They lead the Warriors by 2, but they have 4 on the Storm.
I keep saying, look at the draw. And the draw for the Dogs continues to be as soft as butter. It's not their fault. It's not a criticism of Canterbury. Canberra's draw, by the way, is also very, very comfy, cosy. So don't sleep on them at $15 for minor premiership. Storm are going to lose players to Origin. Not that many, but enough. Top 2's their aim. I don't know. Dogs for me. Dogs for me, $2. They don't play Melbourne till around 25. It's criminal. Are the Roosters or the Rabbitohs better futures? Roosters or Rabbitohs the better future option for the remainder of the season?
I'll say Roosters because right now I think it's a flip of the coin, but they've got Sam Walker up their sleeve. And they've got player X up their sleeve.
Yes, they've got someone coming.
There's someone coming. I don't know who it is.
I don't know who it is, do we?
But player X and Sam Walker just has me favouring them.
It's like a game of Cluedo.
Top 8, South $3, Roosters $3.60. That's a good price, Roosters $3.60.
This is a true story. I had a dream it was Luke Keary coming back. Could that actually happen or not?
Yes, he's young enough. He's young enough.
She'll get a dream.
I did have a dream.
All right. There we go. Well done, Sean. Final question. This is hardly a betting question. This is, again, Sean's crowbarred this in because he wants to talk about it. How do the Blues get Pappenhausen into the Blues team?
Oh, I've somehow got this question in, just like Laurie has to get Pap into that Blues squad. Now, I was pretty keen on going with Teddy over Dylan Edwards. If you're not doing that, then you have to pick Pap in some scenario. Could he be a 14?
He could be a 1.
Yeah.
Of course he could be a 14. That would be at the expense of Connor Watson.
Who was very good last year.
Yeah,
and is a much better defensive player than Pappenhausen. Not that Pappenhausen's bad.
I love Pappy. I just...
You got to get him in there.
Got to get him in there.
Coach's Corner time.
Thank you, Dan. Early in the game, you can really see what the coach wants you to do. Sometimes teams get away from it, but it was a concerted effort from the Gold Coast. They wanted to bomb the diminutive, some may say, Greg Marzhew. So they kept chasing and chasing and chasing. Now, I have been very strong around the fact, and by the way, they did a good job here. Some things went their way, and it was a good strategy. But I don't know why we're so rigid in what we do with players in positions. And the reason I say this is... I believe this young kid, De Groot, who we're calling De Grouse, is...
No, you're calling De Grouse. Don't do
I'm
your
calling
rhyming.
De Grouse.
Don't foist your rhyming slang on us.
Okay, I'm taking De Grouse. He, as a jumper and catcher, is, if not better than Coates, which he's probably not, but he's close or equal to. This kid's an athlete. Why would you not just push him out on the wing for a set play to have a crack at Marzhew? Look how good this kid jumps.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So if that's your tactic,
yeah,
which is a great tactic, why wouldn't you put your best jumper on the top of Marzhew's head to cash in on a try? Thoughts?
Love it.
Yeah.
I love unstructured play, but also your unstructured thinking.
Thank you.
Joel.
Very good. I agree wholeheartedly. That's a very good coach's corner.
When you get into coaching, just do it. You don't have to do press
conferences. I'd go behind the scenes.
Yeah, do that.
I'll be a Frank Panisi. I don't want to coach.
All care, no responsibility. That's what you want. That's what
Until they win a comp. Can you imagine if they won a comp? It'd be...
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Buying or selling.
Anyway, what are we buying and selling?
Yeah, buying or selling time. In fact, I'm told we haven't got time. We do. We do. We're going to sneak this in, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be lightning quick round. Buying or selling, Sean?
I'm buying old school rivalries and sledging, Dan. Now, I want to set it up with this. Roll this tape for us to have a look at.
Salmon is a weak-gutted dog. Yes, he is.
Now you can see Ricky there having a nice little chuckle to a fan who's just reminding him that Salmon is a weak-gutted dog, which is famous, what Ricky said. But then we go to the game. Jamin Salmon scores a try, and he leans into it. He owns it. We're going to see the celebration here. He scores a very easy try. Didn't have to do much, Jamin, but he went on with it. He found the camera. He went looking for the camera and he said, weak-gutted dog, pointed to the chest. He's leaning into it, Joel, which is what we love. And then he went even one further. He Instagrammed it himself. Played the video with a bit of music.
You know what, though? They're going to meet in a big game later
I know.
You brought it. You said it. He did nothing in that try. I thought listen, he wanted to hit back, and that's fine. He's obviously embarrassed by what Ricky said, and none of us know what happened. Mm. But just backing up, I want to see more through. I don't know if he earned the right in that particular
play. But this is why I'm buying it, because it's almost not an if, it's almost a when they meet in the finals at this rate. Can you imagine how big the build-up will be?
It's going to go one way or the other.
Of course it is.
Right?
No. I'm done. We're done. They told me I have to go to
okay, right. So Dan's selling, buying or selling.
I'm selling the buying or selling segment. The lines for next week coming up right after this. Get them on side. All right. We don't know what time we're on Thursday we don't know what time we're on because of Women's Origin, and that's the one that makes a mess of our schedule. Sunday night, take note, we're on late again because Tigers play South Sunday night footy. That's a really interesting game, Sunday night footy. So, there you go. Hello, right camera. We'll be on 9-ish. After Matty Johns. Quickly, we've got 30 seconds, gents, as we bring up the futures. Can you pick one, or not the future? Well, when I say futures, I mean 1 week ahead. That's the future. Give me one of these that stand out to you, gentlemen, please.
Well, the punters think the Sharks stand out, so they're 5.5, about to go to 4.5. I think they start at 3.5, but the Doggies are also being backed.
Green Machine, -7.5, not enough.
Okay, Dragons plus 10.5. Something stinks at the Broncos, and Dragons tend to keep games pretty close. That's. I'll be interested to see how that line goes. There's going to be a lot of stories this week about the Broncos and dramas off field and coaching and all. Well, it's already started. Anyway, we're done. We'll see you, KO, YouTube. You can get our podcast from Wednesday, and we'll see you here on Fox on Thursday. Get them onside.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.